In the dark of a Danish longhouse, a messenger delivers 5 words that turn grief into a weapon. No one shouts. No one moves. But at the table, 4 brothers begin to bleed without noticing, and England unknowingly has just been sentenced. It is 865 AD. The sons of Ragnar Lothbrok sit in heavy silence as the news settles in. Sigurd, snake in the eye, stares down at his own hand, calmly paring a fingernail with a small knife. He keeps cutting past the nail, through skin, down to bone, as if pain is for other men. Across from him, Bjorn Ironside holds a chess piece carved from bone. His grip tightens until it cracks and bursts. Shards bite into his palm and blood ticks onto the board. This is not mourning. It is a vow. The messenger has confirmed the insult that cannot be forgiven. King Aella of Northumbria did not simply kill Ragnar. He humiliated him. The story says Ragnar was thrown into a pit of snakes, stripped of armor and dignity, left to die slowly while his enemies watched. Aella wanted the world to believe Ragnar was only mortal. But in the sagas, Ragnar laughs as the venom takes him and delivers a final promise. How the little piglets would grunt if they knew how the old boar suffered. Aella thought he had ended a threat. Instead, he lit a fuse. In Denmark, there are no tears, only mobilization. Messages fly along sea roads and winter tracks. This will not be a raid for silver. It will not be a quick strike and a retreat to the ships. It will be a campaign with a single purpose: vengeance, paid in kings and kingdoms. Warriors arrive from across the Norse world. Rivals swallow old grudges. Some men refuse payment just to be part of the storm. They are drawn by the target and by the legend. Ragnar's sons are calling, and England is about to learn what that means. Late in 865, the coast of East Anglia watches the sea change. A normal alarm might mean 3 ships, 5 at most, fast raiders, gone by nightfall. This time the horizon seems to move. Longships gather like a black tide, a floating town of timber and sails. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle calls it a great host. It is not only fighters. There are smiths and supplies, families and horses. They are not coming merely to steal. They are coming to stay, to take land and break kingdoms. At the head of this host is not Bjorn, broad as an oak, nor the cold-eyed Sigurd. It is Ivar the Boneless, the brother whose body is described as twisted, carried on a shield, yet whose mind is a blade. No one agrees what boneless truly meant: illness, disability, or a grim nickname, but every source agrees on his influence. While the others burn with rage, Ivar counts, measures, weights. He understands that to destroy a king, you do not begin with the king. You begin with the board. So he lands in East Anglia, not Northumbria. It looks like hesitation. It is strategy. He demands horses and gets them, turning seaborne infantry into mounted troops. He winters, gathers intelligence, hardens the army into a machine, and lets fear drift north like smoke. He is letting Aella sit in his fortress, imagining safety, feeling the dread grow heavier each day. By the time the snows thin in 866, the great host is supplied, mounted, and hungry. Northumbria, meanwhile, is doing Ivar's work for him. Civil war has split the kingdom. Aella, the usurper, against Osbert, the rival king. They are so consumed by their own hatred that they fail to see the shadow rising from the south. In the autumn of 866, Ivar strikes hard for York, the old Roman city, and the heart of the north. He chooses the moment with care. On November 1st, All Saints' Day, the nobles and bishops will be gathered for worship, unarmed, distracted, confident in sanctuary. The Vikings arrive while bells still ring. The gates fall with shocking speed. By nightfall, York is theirs. Ivar does not burn the city. A raider would. A conqueror repairs the walls and fills the granaries. York becomes a Viking fortress planted inside enemy territory. Then Ivar waits, because he knows what comes next. The loss of York forces Aella and Osbert to swallow pride and march together. He wants them united. He wants their whole strength. Why hunt men across hills when you can bait them into a trap? In March 867, they come. On Palm Sunday, the Northumbrians attack York with the desperation of men fighting for their soul. They breach parts of the defenses and surge into the streets, believing the Vikings are breaking. But Ivar has not lost the walls. He has abandoned them. He lets the enemy pour into narrow lanes and tight corners where numbers become a curse. Then the trap shuts. Danes appear from side streets and rooftops. Shield walls lock at both ends of the main ways. The city becomes a kill box of wood, stone, and screaming. Osbert is cut down in the crush. Aella is surrounded, dragged from his horse, stripped of weapons and dignity, and chained. Execution on the field would have been mercy. The sagas insist the sons of Ragnar wanted something worse, something that would echo. Later stories describe the Blood Eagle, a ritualized killing so notorious that many historians doubt it was performed as described. What is certain is that Aella died at Viking hands after York, and that his death became a symbol, either of real brutality or of a Christian nightmare shaped into legend. In the tale, his back is opened, ribs broken and spread, lungs drawn out like wings. Whether literal or embellished, the message is the same. This is vengeance performed as theater, and England is meant to watch. With Northumbria broken, the host turns south. In 869 it returns to East Anglia. King Edmund, remembered in later tradition as a martyr, refuses to submit. He is captured and killed. Stories tell of arrows and a final beheading, the making of a saint through horror. By now the pattern is clear. Some kings fight, some bargain, some pray, but the great host keeps moving. Mercia collapses under the pressure. Its king, Burgred, flees and dies in exile in Rome. England is reduced to one stubborn kingdom, Wessex. Wessex does not fall quickly because it has a different kind of leader. Alfred, not yet the Great, is young, often ill, and newly crowned in the middle of war. He fights, loses men, learns, and then does the unthinkable. He pays for time. He offers silver to buy breathing space, not safety. While the Vikings settle into conquered land and carve out what will become the Danelaw, Alfred studies, plans, and prepares the counterstroke: fortified buzz, reorganized armies, ships for the coast. Around 870, Ivar vanishes from English records. Irish annals may preserve him as a powerful Norse ruler across the sea, and later tradition gives him an eerie afterlife, a burial on the English coast, a warning that no invader will succeed while his bones remain. It is legend, not proof, yet it fits the man, a strategist who understood fear as a weapon. What cannot be doubted is the impact. A single act of revenge became a force that shattered kingdoms and remade the map. Ragnar's death did not end a story. It began a conquest that stitched Scandinavian law, language, and settlement into the fabric of England. Place names ending in by and Thorpe, the rise of York as a Norse power, the very pressure that forged a more unified English resistance. These are the long shadows of that silence in the Longhouse. The piglets did grunt, and then they bit. But vengeance, once unleashed, never stays neatly contained. It burns, it spreads, and it leaves a new world in the ashes.